of meals and meals used in general sense. Whenever you're talking about meals, generally talking about them, so not don't use a definite article before them. For example, when do you take breakfast? So it's a general question about breakfast. That's why we haven't used definite article the, or we haven't used indefinite. We never use it. You see, indefinite article before breakfast. But sometimes we do. But that is another case, and inshallah I'll explain later. Another example: what time do you take lunch? So you're generally talking about lunch, the time you take lunch. So that's why we haven't used the before lunch. But if you talk about a specific meal, then you will use the before it. For example, the lunch I had yesterday was very delicious. So you're not talking about lunch generally, you're not talking about it, you're talking about a particular lunch that you had yesterday. So that makes lunch particular, so you have to use the before lunch. The lunch I had yesterday was very delicious. Likewise, the dinner I had at your house last week was very spicy. So you're not talking about dinner in general, you're talking about dinner, particular dinner, the dinner you had, the dinner I had at your house last week, right? So whenever you're talking about meals, particularly talking about them, so that would make them particular, and you'll have to use definite article the before them. Before languages, never ever use definite article or indefinite article before the names of languages. For example, Urdu, don't say the Urdu, simply say Urdu. The English, don't say the English, simply say English. The Punjabi, don't say the Punjabi, just say Punjabi. So whenever you are naming a language, whenever you say the name of a language, so don't use the before the name, okay? Like Urdu, English, Punjabi. Before names of relations, for example, father, mother, aunt, uncle. So for example, if your father arrives home and you inform your mother, so what would you say? The father has arrived or father has arrived? You should say father has arrived, because before the names of relations we do not use definite article. Likewise, if your mother is in kitchen and you want to you want to tell your father if your mother is in kitchen or somewhere else, so you would say mother is in the kitchen. You would not say the mother is in the kitchen. Remember, don't use the definite article before names of relations. Before school, college, church, bed, table, hospital, market, prison. These places like school, college, and objects like bed and table, when you visit or use these places or objects for their primary purpose, don't use definite article before them. Remember, whenever you're talking about school or a college or church or bed or table or hospital, when you're talking about their primary purpose, right, when you are using them in your sentence and you are discussing primary purpose, so you will not use definite article the before them. But for example, I learnt English at school. So everybody goes to school to learn something, and that is the primary purpose of school. So in this sentence you will not use the or a before school. Likewise, she goes to church every Sunday. So she goes to church every Sunday for what? To worship, right? For her prayers. So that's the primary purpose of building a church. So that's why we haven't used the. We cannot say she goes to the church, because here we are talking about the primary purpose of church. So whenever you're talking about primary purpose of places and objects like these, so you cannot use definite article before them. Another example, I sleep on bed. Bed are made for that. You see, beds are made for that. Beds are made to sleep on. So that's the primary purpose of bed. So I sleep on bed. So you cannot say I sleep on a bed or I sleep on the bed. You would simply say I sleep on bed. But the will be used with these words when we talk particularly of them rather than normal activity people go there for. So if you use these places like school, college, church, and you're not using them and discussing primary purpose, if you're not talking about their primary purpose, so you will have to use definite article before them. For example, the school is very far from my house. in this sentence you are not talking about primary purpose of school, but you are telling, you're talking about you're not talking about normal activity, you're talking about something else, right? You're telling that it is far from your house. So you will not say school is far from my house, you would say that school is far from my house, because in this sentence you are not discussing the normal activity that goes at school. Likewise, I met Ali at the church. So people do not go to church to meet people. People go to church to offer prayers, to worship. So that is here in this sentence. You're not using church, and you're not discussing church, and you're not talking about normal activity of church. So that's why you have to say I met Ali at the church. You cannot say I met Ali at church. And another example is the bed you bought is very expensive. The bed you bought is very expensive. You are not talking about the primary purpose of the bed, you are not talking about normal activity related to bed, but you are discussing something else. The bed you bought is very expensive, so that makes you have to use definite article the before bed. Okay, so I hope that it's clear. And you see, when you practically implement these things, and at the time of speaking you are careful with these things, so it's gonna be really very easy for you to explain and to others, and it's gonna be very easy for you to use definite article and indefinite article properly. And before means of transport, I'm sorry, that's my typing error, I could not rectify it, kindly forgive me for that. For example, we go to school by bus. So whenever you're talking about means of transport or modes of transport, so do not use any article before them. Don't say we go to school by a bus or by the bus, right? Just say by bus. We go to school by bus. She went to Lahore by train. So by train, by bus, by airplane, by ship. So whenever you're talking about modes of transport, means of transport, so do not use any article before modes of transport. And that's all in this unit. Kindly don't forget to solve the exercise, because that's really very important, right? And inshallah we'll meet soon with another great lesson. Till then, goodbye and take care, and don't forget to inform others about the website www.adzofenglish.com, and see you later.